Alright, good evening guys, it's Abuti Tau, except it isn't. So I had the good fortune last week to run into Ndati Mankwe, the man who gave me my Basotho name, Abuti Tau Mankwe. I ran into the guy and he looks great, looks the same as he did, 6 years ago. So I told him this and he was like, yeah, you don't, you look old. And he started calling me Ndati Tau and I was like, no, I'm Abuti Tau. And he was like, no. He told me in no uncertain terms that I am now too old to be Abuti Tau. So from now on it's Ndati Tau, regardless of marriage situation. So it's been, it's been an interesting couple of days. It's been a bit different from what I've been doing so far. So, first of all, like I said, I ran into a few old friends. I ran into Ndati Mankwe at the opening for this Centre for Differently Abled Kids, which we went along to, which comprised of a 3.5-hour mass in Sesotho under the blazing sun, which was challenging, but beautiful service, great to catch up with people. Not just Ndati Mankwe, but I ran into a young gentleman called Taboho. And I know Taboho from the last time I was here as well. So Taboho is a young gentleman with cerebral palsy. And last time I was here, myself and Maria were, Action Lesotho had just gotten a laptop for him. And myself and Maria were teaching him how to use that. We were also doing exercises with him for his dexterity and stuff like this. And I found out that Taboho has just completed the Lesotho version of the junior certificate. He's the first person ever with cerebral palsy ever to finish the junior cert in Lesotho, and he came 6th in the entire country. So that's really cool. That's really cool altogether. So I really wanted to talk to him, So I took a group photo of all the differently abled kids, including Taboho, and afterwards I went up and I was like, Taboho, do you remember me? Blank stare. My name's Anthony. I'm from Ireland. We met about 6 years ago. I was over here volunteering with Action Lesotho. We were working in the Lepakong Centre. I was helping you with your laptop. Nothing. I was here with Maria. Yes! Maria! So, yeah, that much he remembered. So it was really good to catch up with him. Just a kind of random aside, but I'm not sure if I mentioned, but I'm not staying in Lesotho. I'm staying across the border in South Africa in a little town called Vicksburg. And every day I have to cross the border over and back to Lesotho to do the work there. And I usually cross with Pippa Kieran, who's the main lady on the ground here for Action Lesotho. But a couple of days ago I had to cross on my own for whatever reason. So, oh my god, every time I cross that border on my own, there's some kind of, I would say, I'll call it an adventure rather than a hassle or worry. But so I had 2 of those. One was when I was going across, there was 2 South African ladies on the South African side as I leave the country, and handed over my passport, and they're looking at it and they're looking at me and they're looking at my passport, looking at me and they're talking and talking and looking and talking and talking. This goes on for like a minute, so I'm starting to get a little bit antsy, So I'm like, I'm really sorry, is there a problem? And they're just like, I'm like, I'm sorry, what? They're like, And they're like, oh, and they're talking about my tattoo, right? So like without thinking, I'm just like, what, this thing? And I kind of pull my shirt aside. They're just like, ooh! Hooting and hollering. And shit. So they stamped the passport anyway. So I get out of South Africa, and then the other side of the border is entering Lesotho, and the guy on that side sees my passport and he's like, oh, you from Ireland? I'm like, I am. He's like, I love Irish politics. And I'm like, kind of a mixed opinion of it myself. And he's like, do you know Gerry Adams and Martin McGuinness? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I know Gerry Adams and Martin McGuinness. How do you know Gerry Adams and Martin McGuinness? So it turns out this guy's like a massive like history nut from like early 90s Irish political history. So, and I was like, where did you get all your information? He was from the BBC. can't imagine they were entirely complimentary about Irish politics at that time, but okay. But yeah, massive fan of Gerry Adams anyway, so we were chatting about that for a bit. Yeah, so that was nice. That was the opening of the centre, catching up with a few old friends. The other thing I've been doing is working with one of our humanitarian programs. So we don't just give development aid, we also give some humanitarian aid. And one of those is the Malimpo feeding program, which is basically a monthly delivery of essential items, food, soap, paraffin, things like this, to people that are vulnerable and unable to work and to generate an income for themselves. So whether they're, I mean, a lot of our patients would be orphans, child-headed families, or I think probably the largest number would be HIV positive patients. And the thing about HIV is that even if you get on the meds, the ARVs, you need to eat. They make you really hungry, and you need to eat a lot of food. So a lot of these people, like, even if they're getting treatment, without the food, they're still going to be in a bad way. So, like I said, we once a month load up the car with a bunch of food and travel around to these hard to reach places and deliver this stuff. You know, I don't really need to show you pictures and videos of this stuff. You guys can probably imagine what it looks like, you know. The houses with walls of cracked clay or corrugated iron, dirt floors. You know, you bring the stuff into the kitchen, there's 3 or 4 hungry faces looking up at you out of the darkness. No electricity, no running water, nothing, you know. But a lot of very grateful people, you know, a lot of smiles when you're dropping the stuff up, so that's good too. But yeah, Action Lesotho, not just doing development aid, a bit of humanitarian aid as well. So that's been it for the past few days, basically. You might have seen, if you're skulking around on my Facebook page, I ran a photography workshop as well, which was really good fun, just for the staff in no, never going to get those clicks. Hamakele, the staff in Hamakele. Sorry, I went very North Kerry there for a second. North Kerry by way of Maputswe. But they seem to really enjoy it as well. So hopefully we're going to start seeing less of my photographic wafflings and more of the people on the ground actually directly involved who are going to be taking a few more photos, so that'll be good too. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you again for listening or watching, if indeed you did listen or watch. If you didn't, that's entirely your prerogative. And yeah, I'll be checking back in again soon. All right, take care, guys.